Well, it's a big 4th of July here on Victory News, not only because it's Sunday, not only because it is July 4th, the nation's Independence Day, but because Colonel Allen West has made his announcement that he is running for governor of Texas. Congratulations.
Thank you, Michael. It's good to be with you, and welcome to my home church here at Sojourn Church in Carrollton.
It's great to be at Sojourn Church, and let's talk about why you decided to run. It's obviously a very important position in this state. There's so much going on in this country, and I would say there's probably no more important positions right now than the governors around the state of around this nation.
You're absolutely right, and I think that's one of the key things. We have to reestablish that understanding of federalism, the 10th Amendment, where the states have those rights that are delegated or reserved to them, as opposed to all of everything being centered on the federal government. And when you look at the constitutional crisis that we're facing here in Texas, where you have a federal government that has completely abdicated its constitutional duty and responsibility to protect the sovereignty of America, protect the sovereignty of Texas, we've got to have very focused leadership, principled leadership, and courageous leadership that will stand up to them.
Let's talk about what's being done in terms of immigration from a federal standpoint, and then what's being done to combat that here in Texas.
Well, nothing's being done from a federal standpoint. I think that's the frustration. When you see the record numbers of people that are just flowing into this country, it's a 20-year high. And you go back to last year, this thing was pretty much so controlled. So we have got to do something about this, because we are a very benevolent and loving country, but we want you to knock on the front door and not just come in into the back door. And the fact that Texas is the number one state for human and sex trafficking in the United States of America, Dallas and Houston are the top two cities, this is unconscionable. We cannot have that.
Let's backtrack for a second. Let's talk about, from a big picture standpoint, what would you like to accomplish as governor of Texas?
Well, when it comes to the border security, I think the most important thing is to have a full mobilization of our National Guard on the border. This is somewhat semblance of a war that we have going on. The cartels are a criminal and terrorist organization. We should not allow them to be freely operating on this side of the border. And what they're doing is to destabilize this country, the free flow of drugs, and again, the human sex trafficking that is going on. We also need to, in declaring them a criminal and terrorist organization, go after their financing, go after the banks, go after the real estate agencies that are working with these stash houses, and we need to start freezing and seizing those assets, and we can use it for a Texas Border Security Fund. And I think also another critical thing that we must do in securing this border is that we have to start looking at taxing the remittances of illegal immigrants that go back to these countries. They're really propping up their GDPs, and guess what? Again, that's money that should be used here in Texas to make sure that we can secure the border. Just building a wall, that's not a panacea to this system of illegal immigration.
Governor Greg Abbott, of course, has talked about the state financing and building the rest of the wall. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, as I said, you can, tax those remittances that go back, and that's where you can get billions of dollars. Then also we need to go after the assets of the cartels and the banks and things of that nature here in the state of Texas, and that's another way that we can fund it.
Talk about how faith plays a role in your life.
I wouldn't be making a decision like this if my faith were not strong, because two of the verses that were so key and instrumental, Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not upon your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And then also Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have made for you, plans for your success and your prosperity, not for your calamity.
Greg, a big announcement from Allen West. Back to you.